It's time to suit up and step into the medieval world, full of clashing swords and clanking armors. Armors have always been more than just protection. They're a symbol of power, bravery, and innovation. Each armor tells a story of its own, carrying a soldier through the battlefield with the promise of protection. And today, we'll be talking about 10 most incredible armors of all time. Number 10. Coconut mail. Coconut mail is a unique and practical form of armor that reflects the ingenuity of the Kiribati people from the Pacific Islands. This type of armor was crafted using coconut fibers, a material that was plentiful and easy to access in the husks. These fibers were then cleaned and twisted into yarn. The yarn was woven into a tight braid, creating a dense, almost knitted fabric. This process was similar to how chainmail was made in medieval Europe, but instead of metal rings, they used plant fibers. The resulting armor looked much like a large knitted pullover, though it was much tougher and more resistant to cuts and blows from weapons. The design and construction of coconut mail were crucial to its effectiveness. The tight weave of the fibers created a dense and durable material that could absorb the force of an attack without breaking or tearing easily. This made it a practical solution for the Kiribati warriors, who often faced sharp weapons like knives and swords in battle. Their battles could occur both on land and in the water. The armor's ability to withstand moisture meant that it was not just a battle-ready garment, but also a practical solution for everyday wear in a humid environment. Despite its effectiveness, coconut mail had its limitations. It wasn't as strong as metal armor and couldn't provide complete protection against heavier weapons or blunt force attacks. However, it was well suited for the Kiribati warriors who needed a solution that was lightweight, flexible, and easily repairable with the resources at hand. The armor provided good protection against sharp objects and allowed the wearer to move freely, which was crucial in a combat environment where agility could mean the difference between life and death. Number 9. Transformer armor. Transformer armor, developed during World War I, was an innovative made of steel plates that were hinged together, creating a sort of apron that could be worn over the torso. What made Transformer armor unique was its dual functionality. The plates could be worn like regular body armor, providing protection from bullets and shrapnel. However, they could also be arranged to form a barrier or shield, allowing soldiers to quickly set up a defensive position if needed. This adaptability was crucial for troops in the trenches, where static warfare and entrenched positions were the norm. One of the standout features of Transformer armor was its flexibility. Soldiers could quickly and easily adjust the armor's plates to create a shield that would cover the front and sides of their bodies, allowing them to maintain protection while advancing or retreating. The armor could also be used to create a makeshift barrier, march in lines, and engage in close combat. Instead, soldiers had to be able to break through heavily fortified lines, clear minefields, and deal with barbed wire. Transformer armor was one of the first pieces of equipment that allowed soldiers to be both offensive and defensive simultaneously. Number 8. Ray Skin Tunic. The ray skin tunic was a remarkable piece of armor used by the Kiribati people, showcasing their ingenuity in creating effective protective gear from whatever materials were at hand. This unique armor was made from the tough, leathery skin of rays, known for its durability and flexibility. The Kiribati, like many Pacific Islanders, relied on natural resources to craft their armor, and the ray skin tunic was one of their most effective creations. It was used because of its strength and elasticity, qualities that made it a far superior choice for stitching compared to plant fibers. The resulting tunic would be a tough, segmented piece of armor resembling a woven fabric, but with the added benefit of providing significant protection against sharp weapons like swords and daggers. Each piece of ray skin was selected for its thickness and resilience, ensuring that the finished armor could absorb blows and reduce the impact on the wearer's body. The construction of the ray skin tunic was a meticulous process. Warriors would select ray skins from the belly or back of the fish, as these areas provided the best combination of toughness and flexibility. The skin had to be carefully treated to remove toxins, providing protection without restricting movement, a crucial factor in combat. Number 7. Birdcage helmet. The birdcage helmet, also known as the Kolben helm, was an unusual but effective piece of medieval armor used primarily in tournaments rather than on the battlefield. This helmet was designed to protect knights from the blunt impacts of blows and sticks used in jousting and other combat sports, rather than from sharp weapons like swords and arrows. The distinctive feature of this helmet was its wide, cage-like design that resembled a birdcage, a clever adaptation that allowed for better visibility and distributed the force of blows more evenly. The Kolben helm was large and imposing, covering not only the head, but also the neck and upper shoulders. Its cage-like structure, where the objective was to knock the opponent's helmet off without causing serious injury. The cage also had practical advantages beyond just visibility and impact distribution. It was designed to protect the head without being as restrictive as other types of helmets. In a tournament setting, knights could more easily engage in the competition without the heavy limitations imposed by other medieval helmets. The cage allowed air to circulate more freely, keeping the head cooler under the heavy, hot metal, which was a significant advantage given the intense physical activity involved in tournaments. The design also made it possible for the knight to hear more clearly, which was essential when listening for commands from a herald or signals from the jousting field. The Kolben helm was also a status symbol. Knights and nobles would often have and taste, an important aspect of medieval tournaments where prestige and reputation were as much at stake as victory. Number 6. Brewster body armor. The Brewster body armor is a fascinating piece of early 20th century military innovation that sought to protect soldiers from the increasing dangers of warfare, namely bullets and shrapnel. This armor was designed during a time of rapid technological advancement in weaponry, particularly in World War I, when the introduction of powerful rifles and machine guns made traditional infantry tactics obsolete. The Brewster body armor was essentially an elongated apron that covered the chest, stomach, and groin areas, with a massive helmet to protect the head and neck. The apron was made of steel plates, often no thicker than 2. The helmet of the Brewster armor was a standout feature. It was designed to be far more protective than standard steel helmets of the era, which could easily be pierced by bullets. The Brewster helmet was shaped more like a stovepipe or elongated hat, providing full coverage for the head and neck. This design was particularly useful in protecting from headshots, which were a major concern for soldiers on the front lines. It also provided protection against shrapnel from nearby explosions, which were a common cause of death and injury during the war. The helmet included a face mask with a fine wire mesh to protect the eyes and face from debris, a crucial addition given the conditions of trench warfare where mud, rocks, and bullets flew constantly through the air. One of the most significant innovations of